In QGIS, it is very easy to measure the distance between any two features of interest. On the toolbar, click the Measure Line button. The Measure window will appear. Click between any 2 points on the map to measure the distance between them. For example, between this mountain and the sea. If you want to, you can change the units here. And if you want to make a new measurement, just click New to reset it. You could use this to measure the distance between two sites, or between a site and the nearest river. So, I'm going to zoom into a site. I then click on the site, and then click on the nearest part of the river. You can right-click to finish your measurement, and you can see here that the site is 0.4 kilometers or 432 meters from the river. However, just like with the elevation task, this would take a long time to do manually, but there is an automatic way of achieving this in QGIS. First, however, we have to make sure that all of our data is in UTM format, so that the distance being measured is in meters rather than degrees, which are very hard to understand. So, to do this, right-click your site's shapefile and go to Export and Save Features As. Click the Browse button, navigate to your Geospatial folder, and then I'm going to use the old file name and just add UTM afterwards, and then click Save. Then we have to change CRS to Project CRS, making sure that this matches the UTM zone of your area. Everything else can stay the same, so then we click OK. You will notice that a new shapefile has been added to our map. We can copy and paste the old symbology by going to Styles and Copy Style, and then Styles, Paste Styles, so that the UTM version and the old version look exactly the same. Then we can remove the old version. Now we need to do something similar with the Hydro Rivers shapefile. However, in order to speed up the automatic measuring step, we're also going to extract just part of the shapefile to make it smaller, because at the moment it covers the whole of Europe and we don't need all of this information. As you can see, it takes a lot of time just for it to load. The easiest way of selecting only the rivers that we want is to zoom into the digital elevation model of your study area. So right-click it and select Zoom to Layer. Now, right-click the Hydro Rivers shapefile and select Open Attribute Table. You can see that for the Europe version, there are almost 1 million rivers recorded, which is far more data than we need for our study area. Click the Filter Show All Features button, and then select Show Features Visible on Map. You can see the total has dropped down from nearly 1 million to only 2,000. This will make everything a lot quicker. So, click the first row in your table hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and scroll down to the bottom, and then select the last feature. You will notice that the rivers in our area have turned yellow, and these are the ones that we are going to keep. Close the attribute table and then right-click the Hydro Rivers shapefile. Go to Export and then select Save Selected Features As. This means that only the yellow rivers will be saved. Click the Browse button and then go into the Hydro Rivers folder. I'm going to give it a new name. So Hydro Rivers _ Lebanon, which is my study area, _ UTM. Make sure CRS matches the project CRS, which is your UTM zone, and then click OK. You will notice that a new shapefile has been added to our map, but it doesn't have the nice symbology that we created, so we're going to copy and paste it in the same way. We can then remove the old shapefile, leaving just the rivers for our study area. Finally, in order to automatically measure the distance between the rivers and the sites, we need to install a plugin, an extra tool that is not part of the main QGIS software, but which runs inside it. On the menu, click Plugins and click Manage and Install Plugins. Click the All tab. In the search box, type NN Join. Click on it when it comes up and select Install Plugin. Once it is installed successfully, you can click Close. On the menu, click Vector and then go to NN Join, our plugin. For the input vector layer, select your sites, and for the join vector layer, select the UTM rivers file. Then for output layer, give your new layer a name and click OK. When it completes, you can click Close. You will see a new shapefile has been added to the project. Drag this to the top, right-click the new layer and select Open Attribute Table. If you scroll all the way to the right, you will see that it now has a large number of new fields that come from the nearest river, including the last one, which is distance, which is the distance between the site and the nearest river. The NN Join plugin works a little bit differently to other tools. It doesn't save its results permanently, so we have to tell it to do this. If you look at your new layer, you will notice there is a little chip icon on the right hand side. This tells you that it is a temporary file that you have to save if you want to keep. To do this, right-click it and select Make Permanent. You can then browse and give your layer a name. Everything else can stay the same, so we just click OK. And then you'll see the chip icon disappears, telling us that it is now a permanent file. Just as with the elevation, we can show this distance data for each one of our sites. So right-click it and select Properties. Click on the Symbology tab and change Single Symbol to Graduated. And then for Value, select the last field, which is Distance. We can change the color ramp if we want. And then click Classify. We can increase the number of classes, and we can invert the color ramp if we want. And then we click Apply and OK. And now you can see the sites that are closest to a river are a dark blue, and the ones that are furthest away are white. We can now remove the old version of the shapefile. Have a go at calculating the distance between your sites and the nearest river. Don't forget to save your work.